we've got Mr. Tom from Simply Forex. Hey, Tom, how's it going?
Morning, guys. Good. How are you?
Good, and welcome to the you're part of the trio now. We've got
it's exciting.
Yeah, a little different than normal, but I think honestly the crowd seems to enjoy these group commentaries. Tom, give us your take on gold. What are you thinking on gold today?
Okay, so can you see my charts fine?
Yeah, we'll pull it up. Yep, we can see it.
Yeah, okay. So if we take a look at the daily chart to start with, guys, so it's still structurally in an uptrend. Yeah, we've got, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. It's still in an uptrend, guys, and it's holding on to these lows. Okay, so as long as it holds on to these lows and we get a bit of a push away from this level, then I think we can buy back up to this grey zone, potentially this level here. But like Ivan said, if I see a break of this level here, retest, then I'm looking for shorts.
Yeah, and Tom, to add on to that, if it were, and we'll come back to Ivan on gold as well in this because I'm curious to hear your thoughts in terms of if it breaks to that, where do you think it would go? Like, what's a reasonable, even though it's in sort of like that overall upward trend recently, how far do you think it could go if it does get a break of that 1975 mark that we're talking about? You've got it zoned in as well.
Yeah, I mean, well, the problem with it is this. If you go to the weekly chart, there's clearly an area here as well. You could put an area of support here. So the problem with it currently is that it doesn't have a lot of room to move into if it did break.
Sure.
Because you've got, this is clearly a level through here. Yeah, you've got highs here and then you've got these lows here. So it's going to find a bit of support here. So I would start shorting from here, but you've only got a short distance to go. But then if it breaks through this level, then we've really got some momentum to the downside. And I think you could potentially, take it back down to this grey zone here, back down to this, 1825 level.
And to loop back, to get us down to 1825, we'll ask Ivan, in terms of the fundamentals, what would you say would have to happen to get 1825 to print on the gold market? If possible, what would that, I would imagine probably a hawkish Fed at the very least. What would you take on that to get us down that far on gold?
Yeah, it's higher interest rate. Is FOMC coming out and saying, hey, we are going to continue hiking interest rates and we are not going to pause. That is a clear and a very easy catalyst.
Yeah, no, it would have to be something pretty special. We'd probably have to see inflation spike up again. But this market has been crazy, as you guys both know. We've seen some insane volatility the last few years. For anybody who watches the VIX has been on a relative high for the last several years here now, compared to its relative quiet back in 2019, so on and so forth. Ivan, what's our next chart? What are you looking at? I'll get your take, and then Tom, I'll ask you what you're looking at. I'm curious what you guys have open, but Ivan, you go first.
This is the last week to take advantage of the massive 40% off sale on the EdgeFinder. And don't wait any longer because this is the lowest price that it'll be all year. The EdgeFinder is a revolutionary trading software that combines fundamentals and technical trading all in one to help you find better trading entries. This is the same software that all of our expert traders use while scanning the markets. As we strive to make the EdgeFinder the best trading tool of all time by updating and upgrading it regularly, you'll never have to worry about paying for anything because the EdgeFinder is a one-time payment for life. So what are you waiting for? Get it at the lowest price of the year before it's too late. To get access to the 40% off discount, make sure you use promo code A1YT at checkout. If you have any questions about the product or sale, click the chat with us link down in the description below to automatically get connected with one of our team members right now. Remember, promo code A1YT for a huge 40% off discount on the EdgeFinder ending very soon.
Somebody asked me in chat, I need to do Sterling New Zealand and New Zealand CAD, and Australian dollar New Zealand dollar is tanking. Well, it's a profit, but I'm still looking for this one to buy. But that's a bit of a surprise. Hard fall, but hit target for the week, hit target for the month. I kind of understand it. So I'm still gonna wait until maybe Monday next week until I enter anything new there. New Zealand CAD took a bit of a high today, so I'm like, I don't like that, but I'm still short, so I guess
So-
motion's running high.
So for Ivan, that Aussie New Zealand one so you're thinking that this is some profit taking going on, because it did have a great run there to the upside, and now a clear sell off coming in this morning. So you're thinking some of that is profit taking just after that extended run up.
100%, and
Yeah.
I'm ready to take it whenever it goes bullish again. And I had a conversation earlier today, and it made a bit epiphany. I would go down to 1 hour and wait for the reversal. Until that happens, I'm not going to touch it.
Okay, fair enough. I was going to say, I'll take over the chart for just a second. I'll show you what I'm seeing on Aussie NZD. So this is a 4-hour chart, be something similar. To your point, big sell-off, probably some profit taking, but we're coming into what I would say is a pretty solid level of support for the Aussie NZD traders out there. Price coming in, but to your idea there in terms of watching the 1-hour chart, dropping it down and keeping an eye on the price action here, because again, this is a lot of red candles in a row, and a lot of times, that momentum can continue to break levels of structure there. So we'll continue to watch Aussie NZD, but interesting idea there going into today. Tom, what are you looking at here today? What's any trade ideas or setups that you're watching?
I'm just keeping an eye on a couple of weekly highs. So one of them is Euro Yen. Okay, and we are literally at the tip of the weekly high. Yeah, if you look at this weekly high over here, yeah, and we're currently reacting as we speak. So yeah, I'm looking for a little bit of a move to the downside, potentially, back down to this level here. So that's what I'm seeing on the weekly chart. And then on the day chart, guys, obviously the daily candle hasn't finished forming, but we're definitely seeing a bearish reaction, as we speak.
Sure. So Tom,
yeah.
are you thinking more of like a potential short trade going further down, or are you looking for pullback buys? What kind of ideas are you setting up there?
Because it's at those weekly highs, I'd be happy to go against trend and look for a retrace. Okay, so I'd look to retrace potentially down to this kind of level here. All right, so if we look on the H1, it's currently breaking down nicely, and that, and that's basically what I look for, guys. I look for a breakdown in structure, at these highs, and you can see that price has come down nicely, broken these lows, and I think we have a bit of room to the downside, at least down to these lows here.
No, I would. I'll show you something cool in terms of the Euro Yen. What I'm thinking as well, because I would generally agree. Like, it's had a really, really strong push, and I've actually been watching for a pullback on this for a while, because it's actually something that I would like to be long. But with this momentum to the downside sort of picking up, and maybe to Ivan's concept earlier, a little bit of profit taking potentially happening here, I would be interested in longing it, but probably at a deeper pullback. And I'll go over that real quick in terms of why I would advocate more on the long side, is because big money seems to be pretty long on the euro right now. We've got 75% long ratio here. What this just means is that we've looked at the commitment of traders data, and we've seen that from positioning from institutionals, they're very, very long euro, but also notably even more so very short bias on the Japanese yen. So although I would agree, I think that there's probably some pullback potential, some profit taking. I'd be careful with holding on too long, going against the institutional money there, especially with also, a pretty heavy retail positioning to the short side. This one gets a pretty strong buy category in the EdgeFinder. We're looking at, again, big money. We're looking at retail sentiment. We've got a nice little confluence there. And I would say that on a pullback, Euro Yen is similar to Pound Yen in the sense that I actually kind of like the idea of getting long, but probably to your point, probably have a little bit more room. I'd be interested around 146.5 for a possible pullback continuation of this overall upward trend. But kind of cool to your point, Tom, because what's interesting is that, and this is why we're doing this, we're having more than one person comment. Sometimes the same chart can offer profits in both directions from two different traders. It's really cool to be able to do something like that. And, you're talking about potentially taking that lower and riding that pullback. And then I'm talking about possibly picking up the pullback from there. I know Ivan has some thoughts on the yen pairs. Ivan, what are you looking at? Anything yen specific to you today?
Other than yen, Euro yen in particular, in my book, should have a bit of a fall. CAD yen has, in my opinion, now turned bearish on the 4 hour, basically because it has now dropped below the previous lows, and yeah, we're seeing a bit of a retracement, even though I didn't expect that, because I'm still fundamentally bearish on yen. So this is a bit of a surprise, but still, better price, more profits later on.
Yeah, and Ivan, what you just said there, you're bearish on yen. You're not the only one. Right now, what we see here in terms of COT data is we see the yen is actually like the number one in terms of currencies, the number one most shorted by institutional positioning. Now, this is actually relatively new information. We discussed this on yesterday's stream, you, me, and Frank. We sort of dove into some of the COT data. Very interesting to see the yen have such a heavy short ratio. And it's not just the yen, it's also the Swiss franc. So two of our very notable risk off currencies actually have big short positions from institutional traders, which I find especially interesting with the market sort of on edge about potential recessions and things like that. You might make the case that these things could be bullish, but again, it doesn't marry up with what big money is doing. Big money is short the yen, short the Swiss franc. And again, guys, if you want access to this data, we'll drop a link in the chat right now so that you can have a conversation with one of our support reps who can get you access to this tool here today. So click that link. It's popping up on the screen. Sorry to block you for a second, Tom. And there we go. We're good.
Don't forget to check out the links in the description if you want our broker recommendation, access to our free Discord, free EdgeFinder, or want to chat with us on Telegram. Remember, you can watch us live in the markets every morning starting at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and we have lots more free trading tools and content available on our website, a1trading.com. Thanks for watching.